Hello and welcome to my video lecture on the use of data lists in HTML forms. So here again, we're in an HTML file. Here we've got our HTML element, my header element, my body element, another header element, the header element. We've got a div tag, and now we've got our data entry form. Data entry form so far has a label and an input for first name, a label and an input for last name, a label and an input for email. The input for the email is an email type, and that's followed by two more text boxes that are set up. All of these are required. All of them have access keys associated with them, and the zip code and the phone number are using patterns to make sure that we get good data from our user. Now what we want to do is we want to see again another way of ensuring that we get data that we're looking for back from the user. We can do that by a data list. In this case, I'm going to copy this out from a template file that I have. I'm going to bring this into my HTML file, which currently in a browser looks like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that code in there. I'm going to add a little white space for myself, make this a little bit more readable. And then I'm going to tab that code over. So my label, which is going to be associated with my link input, which is here. Now this input is a URL type of input, so it will only take in a valid URL path, address, whatever you like to say. So this has a for link that's associated with this input control. This input control has an ID associated with link. This could be used in your CSS file to give some formatting to this control. In this case, since it is a URL input, what we're also using is a list. And the list will refer to the data list that has an ID associated with the list's value. So this list that's associated with this input using this list attribute is links, plural. When we set up a data list, we set up the data list to have an ID of links so that this input is using this list for its values. Here we're using an option group, essentially, so we can only pick one of these. These are the valid URLs that will be brought into this input control. And then here you can see the labels that will appear as we start using this control. So let's see what this looks like. And again, you can see, so we have a data list, we have 4 options. The values of the options are the URL paths or the URL addresses. And then we have labels that are associated with these to be more visually pleasing instead of displaying this to the user. So what we're going to do is going to save that, and we'll go to our browser and we'll refresh this page, and that's all it looks like. It looks like a lot of code for not a lot, but then when we go in to check your preferred search engine, when I hit Y, it brings up Yahoo. If I type in a G, it brings up all 3 because G is actually in those labels. So as soon as we hit O, it only goes down to Google, and then I can pick that from the list, and there's my valid URL address. Let's see what that looks like. Reset that. Let's see what that looks like when we go back and we take out the label. So let's take out the label for Dogpile. So we take out the label for Dogpile, and we save that. We go to our browser window, and we type in a G. See, we're going to get Google and Bing, which are a little bit more pleasing to look at, and then here is Dogpile listed as its address. So you don't have to use the labels, but the labels make it more visually pleasing for your users, and that is how you use data lists to assist in data validation on an HTML form, and now you can use it in your forms.